I want you to understand wherever it is now and where you want to go, you can get there quicker. But if you have the wrong programming, you're going to have a problem. Your programming comes from the things in your past. Yes or yes? And this is what I refer to as our emotional hard drive. Your emotional hard drive is kind of like your computer's hard drive. You ever been on your computer before when you're typing away, and for whatever reason it just responds really slow, or maybe not at all? One of the reasons it's doing that is because you have too much stuff stuck in the hard drive. Now, how did it happen? It's very simple. You fill up your hard drive all day long and you don't even realize you're doing it, and here's how we do it. Ever been online before and you see a PDF you want to download, so you click it once? And if you get, like me, you get a little impatient, so what do you do now? You double click it. Do you realize that you've literally downloaded that 3 times? Now imagine doing this for several months or several years. Do you think your computer's hard drive is going to be filled up with a bunch of unnecessary junk? Right. Absolutely. Your emotional hard drive works the exact same way, ladies and gentlemen. Every time, if you had something happen to you that was negative, whether you were 5 years old, 5 days ago, or 5 years ago, every time you relive that negative emotion, take a guess what you're doing? Packing more stuff in your emotional hard drive. Now, if you can release that and get that out, would you have more emotional freedom? No doubt about it. When you have more emotional freedom, you take action consistently all of the time. But when you don't have emotional freedom, you have problems with losing weight, quit smoking. Maybe you have some trauma in your past, or a decision you made in your past that you regret to this very day that's haunting you. Emotional, physical, or sexual abuse. So my job is to show you how to tap into your emotional hard drive, clean it out, and when you have emotional freedom, the things that you can accomplish are even more than what you're accomplishing today. So what I'm going to be doing later on, I'm going to do a demonstration, and I'm going to share with you a 4-step process that I've developed that I use to rewire and reprogram people's negative thinking. I'll bring somebody on stage, I'll share with you the 4 processes, and you'll watch how I do the process. Now, I'm not sharing with you anything so far that's beyond common sense or rocket science, but I am sharing with you the ability to have the right mindset. You see, if you have the right mindset and you get off of course, and trust me, you're going to, it's called life. With the right mindset, you'll be able to get on course a lot quicker. So here's the fun part for me. I'm going to share with you some mindsets that I believe you bought into all of your life that I know for a fact are not working for you. Mindsets that maybe you got from your parents, maybe from books, maybe from other people. I am not here to discredit anybody, but I am here to share with you a principle that I refer to as UCS. Now, when I tell you what UCS is, you might chuckle a little bit, but I'm also going to tell you there's a very powerful psychological reason why sometimes we don't use UCS. UCS stands for Use Common Sense. There's no college for that one. Now, let me tell you a very powerful psychological reason why sometimes we don't use common sense. See, if you see somebody like me that's richer than you are, or somebody like myself that has books or is on TV, if you're not careful, you will put a higher status in their mind than they deserve in your mind. Then you will listen to everything they say, and then you will be a sheep to the slaughter. Do not think you're an exception. Hundreds of years ago, just about everybody on this planet used to believe that the earth was. One person chose to disagree. It changed the way we look at the world today. Cult leader Jim Jones took nearly 1,000 people, that's a lot of people, 1,000 people to their death because they bought into his potassium cyanide Kool-Aid. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you some figurative beliefs, show you what to look for in those beliefs, and then when I'm done and out of here, you can determine if this Gary Cox makes a lot of sense or he's full of caca. Now, if you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you you have a terminal illness, common sense should dictate to us that we get a second opinion. So all I'm asking from you today is allow me to please be your second opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right, but nor on the other hand does it necessarily mean that I'm wrong. Fair enough? See, everybody in this room, whether you realize it or not, you give power to something or someone. You give power to God, or you're giving power to food, alcohol, e-cigarettes, nicotine, thoughts, emotions, feelings. There are no exceptions in this room, myself included. True story, I know a lady who was proposed to by a gentleman in Texas a couple of days before they were to marry. He died. On the following year, on the day that he proposed to her, she committed suicide. Why? She gave power to a day What are you giving power to? If you say you want better health, if you say you want more relationships, if you say you want to go ahead and increase your income, what are you giving power to that's either slowing you down or stopping you in your tracks? Because whether we want to admit it or not, we're all giving power to something or someone. I'll give you an example of how we do that. You've heard this before, right? Time heals all wounds. Who comes up with that nonsense? Time doesn't heal all wounds. You do. Now, if you want to wait on time to heal all wounds, you're going to be waiting a long time. Now, how can a little change in your thinking like that make a difference for you? Let me share with you how it did for me. As I mentioned to you earlier, my wife was cheating on me. What I did not mention to you is that she was cheating on me with one of my employees that happened to be 15 years of age. How does that work for your ego? Then I found out where in town it happened. Now, do you think when I needed to get around town I was able to whisk by that location, or do you think I probably gave power to it and went around it? I unfortunately gave power to it and went around it, but only once. Why once? I learned early in my life that time does not heal all wounds, we do. So what did I do? I shot the sucker. No, I'm just kidding. I thought about it. That I will assure you. No, here's what I did. I drove by that location and I cried. Back and cried and forth and cried and back and cried and forth and cried till I knocked it out of my system. Why? Because time does not heal all wounds. We do. Here's another one you'll buy into if you're not careful. This is the one in your worst times of your life. Your closest of friends, meaning well, will come up to you and say something stupid like this. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Who comes up with that nonsense? You know what I've learned in the years I've been doing this? What does not kill you will make you an alcoholic. And if you're not careful, some people commit suicide, as I just shared with you. Yes or yes? Yeah. So the truth of the matter is what does not kill you will make you stronger only if you allow it. Here's another one that we bought into. You've heard this one before. We've been programmed to believe it takes how many days to change a bad habit or behavior? What have you heard out there? 21, right? Who comes up with that? 21 days to change a bad habit or behavior. Here's the bottom line of this one. It may take you 21 days or 21 years to make a decision, but once you make a decision and change can happen when? Instantly. Know of a gentleman who wanted to quit smoking cigarettes. He had a challenging time until one day he walks down the hallway of his house, looks over to his 3-year-old daughter's bedroom, and noticed that she's pretending to smoke a Crayola crayon. He quit smoking instantly. What's the point? The point here is no matter what level of motivation you're at, habit, behavior, addiction, the possibility exists that there's something out there that can change it that quickly. You may not be able to put your finger on it, but do not cheat yourself in thinking that possibility does not exist. All right? Let's take another one. Is this yours, Danelle? Yeah. Can I hold this for a second? Can I have a sip? No, I'm just kidding. All right. So here we've got a bottle of water. You got $1,000, let's say, cash in your pocket. How many of you would be willing to pay $1,000 for a bottle of water? Probably not too many takers. Now watch this. Same bottle of water, same $1,000 in your pocket. Now watch how things can change quickly. Except for this time, your head is on fire. You just saved $1,000. You're good. You're good. And he has a sense of humor so far. What's the point? The point is no matter what level of motivation you're at, habit, behavior, addiction, the possibility exists that there's something out there that can change it that quickly. Do not cheat yourself in thinking that possibility does not exist. Here's another one you have to be very careful of. I can't afford it. Do you realize that every time you say that, if you're not careful, you begin to lower your psychological standards to your finances, so much so you will literally see people out there driving around spending $5 in gasoline looking to save 5 cents on a gallon of gas. Are you kidding? The point here is you've got to learn, if you want to be more successful, to quit cutting corners and expand and stretch, especially financially. A company some time ago, they wanted me to come up to Canada and speak, so I had a choice. I could fly myself there. In fuel alone, it would be $3,000, or I could go commercially for $300. Which one did I take? I flew myself personally for the $3,000 for 2 reasons. Number 1, lifestyle. Number 2, the constant financial stretch. But if you're always thinking, let me cut corners, no, don't cut corners, raise your game.